time, I'm about ready for it to be over. Like, it feels like it's 2:30, so I'm good. Thank you for being with us. I want to thank each and every single one of you for joining us at FlightSimExpo 2025 here in Providence, Rhode Island. Our 6th annual flight simulation convention, and now for the 3rd year in a row, our biggest flight simulation convention.
Yep.
That is by attending. So thank you very much for helping to make that possible. Alongside, of course, our amazing Diamond Plus and Diamond sponsors who have really helped carry this show, especially over the last couple of years. Starting off with our Diamond Plus sponsors, Namagraph, Orbix, and TMPG, and then of course our full range of Diamond sponsors, Prepared, On Air Company, WinWing, Field Air, Kitty Builds, X-Plane, Thrustmaster, Parallel 42, Honeycomb, ScoRT, SimFab, and Meridian GMC. So again, not just all of our sponsors on there, of course, but some of the top ones. Really grateful to them and to all the exhibitors, and of course, each and every one of you for coming out and making the show possible. And of course, as always, a huge thank you to our amazing FlightSimExpo ground crew.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for the announcement. We're going to see where we're going to be next year. So it's good to see you, Matt. And we'll see you at Orphe. Thanks for joining us.
All of their support in helping to make the show possible and just running around wherever we need something to get done to make sure that you guys have a great experience. Friendly reminder to all those in the room, as well as those watching on the stream. For those of you in the room, your tickets include access to our online events. If you wanted to go back and rewatch anything that happened on FS Expo Friday, anything that happened on the FS Elite stage, anything that happened here in this room in our community stage, you have access to do that at FlightSimExpo.com/watch. That is available through till the end of August. And if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching this somewhere else, don't forget you can purchase access to all of what happened here over the course of the weekend at FlightSimExpo.com/watch. Great way to help support the show if you weren't able to join us here in person. Now I want to talk about the Attendee Choice Awards. This is a new thing that we brought in this year in response to your feedback. I'm going to ask one of our volunteers, Sean, to come up here and join me on the stage, please, to help out with the reveal.
From Boston, or else we're going to be in big trouble.
That's true. So amongst other things, Sean helps out throughout the course of the year with our exhibitor outreach, helping to send those emails, make those phone calls, those Discord follow-ups that get the more than 80 exhibitors that we had out there on the show floor out there for you. Our Attendee Choice Awards, again, the new thing this year that we brought in voting from all of you who were here at the show, just to celebrate the amazing announcements that we had on Friday and to celebrate the great exhibitors we had. So we're going to start off with our best FS Expo Friday announcement. This was live polling that was done at the end of Friday. More than 600 people voted in that about 5-minute window that we had right at the end of Friday. And Sean, if you would, please announce for us the best FS Expo Friday announcement from FlightSimExpo 2025.
Sure. So the winner of the Attendee Choice Awards for Best FS Expo Friday Announcement is WinWing. Thank you for announcing some great products for us and getting everybody riled up in the crowd. If you'd like, take a couple minutes to say a few words.
Hi everybody, hey Tony here. Yeah. I want to say thank you everybody. I would not be here if it wasn't because of all of you. So it's been 19 years for me in the flight simulation world, and it's really happy to be here. And I'm one of you, so that was the only reason that I keep pushing all management and all companies to try to drive all those costs of hardware down. So thank you for your support. Thank you.
Can I give you that? And you can put it right down there if you like for a second. I'll get that one on your way. We can do that next. And you have one more thing that you wanted to share as well, right?
All right, guys, so we have a raffle event at booth 402. This is a large 329 yield here. So it's been launched 135%. It's not an actual control stick, but it's a trophy. So for anybody who have participate or a contest at the booth, please come over to the booth after the event, and we'll be doing the raffle for this trophy. Thank you.
Got a vote? That's pretty, yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll give one more round of applause. Following that, our second Attendee Choice Award is for the Best Exhibit Booth. This was voting that took place both yesterday and today, and this was a much closer race. We had about 300 people that voted in this one. And I've got to tell you, the number of booths that were represented, like every booth has like 10 or 20 responses, which is really cool, showing just how amazing and diverse the many different exhibitors out there on the show floor were. The winner is separated only by a couple of votes, which is really, really cool. And our winner for the 2025 Best Exhibit Booth goes to...
That's it. Come on up.
We just want to thank everybody for letting us come to this event and put on display that no matter what your flight sim experience is, you know, it's meant to be shared, and it's proven by all the awesome volunteers that put this show on that flight sim is better when all of us come together, and that is a true pinnacle of what VATSIM is. We're very happy to be able to show that to you all. We hope you had a good experience at our booth and got to see a little bit about what it's like to be a controller, what it's like to be a pilot, and we look forward to seeing a lot of you on the network very soon. So very thankful for the award, and we can't wait for next year already. Thank you guys.
Back to the VATSIM office.
I guess I'll let you do the thing that everybody's actually.
Yeah, I guess that sounds right. Thank you very much, John. Appreciate your help with that.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you to VATSIM. And honestly, yeah, thank you. That area has been a vision of ours at the show for quite some time, to bring together virtual airlines, different online aviation communities, VATSIM and IVAO, just to showcase in real time that you can have pilots flying their simulators, air traffic controllers doing their thing, and how that all works together. And I think that really came together this year, and of course, you know, reflected in the voting. So thank you guys again for helping to make that happen. Yeah, okay, one more round of applause. Give you some time to breathe too, which is kind of nice. So let's talk now about FlightSimExpo.
Sorry, we are out of time. Were you just about to announce where we're going next year?
I guess I was, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Maybe just one time I'll allow
Are you
it.
sure?
Yes, I'll have mercy on you.
All right.
Most merciful. You have a very thin eyes.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Continue. It's good.
Well, I guess that means I better hurry up and announce it already. So this year, like we have done in previous years, this was a survey that we did of both partners and attendees. The initial questions or the potential venues on the survey come from suggestions that you may have made and our own internal research. Several of the suggestions on the survey also came directly from attendees, which is really exciting for us. So we had 6 different places on the survey. I will tell you right now that Providence is not one of the options for 2026 because they have a big soccer/football game here in 2026 called the World Cup or something like that. So yeah, no Providence. But there were 5 other options, all of which were in contention for the vote. And the winning destination was actually the one that you all voted for, which is fantastic, because it makes it a lot easier for me to justify why we're going here. So we're going to talk about these in the reverse order, so starting with number 5, moving up to number 1. And I'll say again, there was a lot of close races here. There are a lot of strong opinions in the survey, a lot of people giving 5 to certain destinations and 1 to others. So we'll talk a bit about that. Number 5, St. Louis, as voted by you. Again, not to say that it was very far from one, because it was a very close race. That was a venue in St. Charles, absolutely could remain on the tables for us in the future, but it was the 5th place in this year's voting. In 4th place, I know I hear drones. In fourth place is Raleigh, a close second for this year as well, finishing fourth place in our survey for 2026. That would have been at the convention center downtown. Very similar kind of style to what you would have seen at this year's event, and also some good flight connectivity. So probably a venue that you'll be seeing, a city that you'll be seeing in our surveys for years to come. Third place, Vegas.
Damn it!
Vegas is very polarizing, right? So who loves Vegas? Show Vegas. And who hates Vegas and never wants to go back? So if you look at Vegas, it has the most fives and the most ones in like every survey that we do. You either love it or you hate it. I'm sure we'll be back there, but not in 2026. So now, I have to reveal number 2, and for those of you who've been paying attention, that might help you understand which one is number 1. This was like so close. Number 2, Salt Lake City, Utah. Which means, yell it out. Yell it out. Number 1 is
Minneapolis. It'll be cooler.
Voted on by you. More specifically, it is the St. Paul River Center. It's about 10 minutes from the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Our dates are June 12th to 14th, 2026. It's about 2 weeks earlier than this year. Some people like it, some people hate it. Yes, that's where we're going to be for FlightSimExpo 2026. Similar style to this year. Convention center, lots of different hotels around. One of the things that we've been working hard on is hotel rates. Hotel rates will be about $149 to $159.
Nice. That's good. That's good.
Lots of good international nonstop flights, very walkable, right by the river. We think it's a place that you're going to enjoy if you've never been there, and a place that we hope you'll enjoy going back to if you've been before. Sorry, what was that? One more time? Yeah, okay, yeah, there's kind of a mall there too. That's the third one. Yeah, where's it like 10, 15 minutes from the Is that? Yeah. And voted on, again, by you, but also a place that we probably wouldn't have gone to look at if not for a DM that I got from an attendee. So please do keep those suggestions coming. That was you. Say that for us then. Say hi. I remember the conversation because you're like, hey, what about Minneapolis? And I'm like, yeah, we looked at their downtown convention center and it's like just way too big. And you're like, no, they have another one. And it's like, oh, this one. And I looked it up and I'm like, you know what? That can work. There you go. It is as simple as that. So we appreciate all those suggestions and ideas. I thought it was you, but I want to call you out and be wrong. Anyway, that's where we're at. I want to cover a couple of other things that people often ask me about, and then if people want, I'd love to do a bit of a Q&A. If you're done and you're ready to go home, that's fine. Feel free. But if you have questions, we do have some microphones that we have set up for you, and we're happy to answer a couple questions about things. But I want to just cover a couple of really popular questions that people have asked us about over the show and over the last couple of years. First big one is like, why not Canada, right? So we talked about big North America's convention, so like, why not do a show in Canada? And I think it's something we can certainly consider. We haven't looked at it. A couple of problems there. You're probably going to be in one of the big cities, so like a Toronto or a Vancouver. The problem with that is the hotel rates. We've heard from you that a $200 hotel rate is probably pushing. So if you look at a Toronto or a Vancouver downtown, you're going to be in that $300, probably $400 Canadian price range. Hard to get that a whole lot lower.
How about Calgary?
Pardon?
Calgary.
Yeah, and so Calgary might be an option there too. And the other thing with Canada is we asked the question in our survey last year, how many of you would consider coming to a show in Canada? And it was about 40% that said no and 60% that said yes. So we have the majority. But losing 40% of our attendees is kind of a big deal. And with a show that's about 80 to 85% US-based attendees, that is something that we look at pretty closely. So it'll be back on our survey again this year at the end of the event. Think about that question seriously, like would you actually go? And if you would, then that opens up the possibility for us to have that work. But that's one of the reasons you haven't necessarily seen that on a lot of our direct venue voting surveys over the past couple of years. Next one that everyone always asks about, what about Florida? What about going back to Orlando? What about bringing the show back? Someone's excited back there. What about bringing the show to that region? Obviously, between Vegas and Orlando, the two big convention cities in the US, those are always going to be on our radar. Our challenge at the moment in Florida is finding hotel rates that are in the realm of possibility. So looking at places that we looked at in 2019, rates that would have been 130, 140 are like 250, 270. And so that wasn't really something that we could do, given when we've heard from attendees about where you need to be at in terms of hotel rates. That being said, hoping to see those hotel rates start to come down and give us a few more options. I know there's a lot of cities in Florida. I get a lot of recommendations for the Tampas that I heard over there, the Daytona beaches. The trouble there is there's like one convention center that works, and they know it. So they are not giving us a deal on internet. They're not giving us a deal on electricity. And when you tell an exhibitor, yeah, your Wi-Fi is going to be like $3,000 for the show, it doesn't work for them. Doesn't work for us, doesn't work for you. So that's the current challenge we have in Florida. I think those rates are going to come down, and I do think you'll start to see Orlando circle back in on those venue surveys in the future. And last but not least, one of the questions that I started to talk about a little bit on Friday is what about actually just leaving the show in one place? Like, why do we move around every year? Why do we go to a new city? What if we stayed in the same place? Advantages of that would be it's easier for you know to get there, you know where to stay, it feels familiar. Advantages for the exhibitors, they can kind of plan out some of their logistics. So maybe instead of shipping all this stuff back and forth across the country, they can just leave it in the same spot. But it also means we can get the same spot every year. And I think a lot of you kind of like the fact that we move around. So I know it's hard for me to see, but let me just do a quick poll. I'm going to ask you first, do you think we should do what we do now, move the show around, or should we try and find a home base? I'm just curious what you think. You're going to get this question on the survey too. But who thinks we should keep moving the show around like we do? Who thinks we should find a home base and leave it where it is? Kind of telling, right? We asked our vendors and our exhibitors this question, and it's a lot closer of a race. It's about 50-50 with the exhibitors, which is really interesting, as to moving it around or keeping it in the same place. So something that we've been looking at, obviously, us being able to find venues, which was getting pretty challenging, that can play a factor in this as well. So it is something we're looking at. We'll ask the question again on our post-event survey. It's hard for me to see, but I feel like there's some people in the Q&A, right? Someone tell me? Maybe or not, I can't tell. Yes? Maybe? No? I don't know? No? Okay. So if anyone have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer some questions. I can bring Phil up there as well. There's a microphone somewhere, right there. If anybody has a question, the only thing I don't want to answer is I don't want to answer specific venue questions because everyone wants it in their backyard, so do I. But I think we'll just avoid the very specific venue questions. If you want to ask about something other than why aren't we at this venue, that's fine. Oh, they actually sent you up here. You do exist, yes. Your microphone doesn't. Or is it working now? No. Not? There we go. Yeah. Or maybe they just cut you off already.
I don't want to be anyway. Fine.
Yeah, okay. So I can barely see out there, but if you have some questions, that's good. So Oscar is currently walking around the mic for
up front here.
Go ahead.
So, there's so many different destinations that you look at and you consider. So what does that process look like for you?
So this is really interesting because 2 years ago, I told Evan we should do a seminar on this during the show to talk about like what the event planning cycle looks like. And Evan said, nobody wants to hear about that. So we haven't actually done that. I think Evan though can talk at a high level of what does kind of the planning cycle look like and how long is it just from a kind of a timeline perspective, and then what do we look for at a very high level.
So first of all, it starts actually before the show. And by the way, if you guys are all set and need to leave, like don't feel bad, it's totally fine. We'll do a Q&A, but if you guys are all ready to head out and beat the traffic, like all good. Quickly, kind of how this show comes together. We would be starting already looking at 2027. We start off by doing a pretty big...
Hey friends, we're going to close out. I'm sure this is available on other streamers and of course FSA site as well. It's been an amazing time. Appreciate all of you. We got a lot of videos. I got a lot of editing to do, and we'll be bringing that back. But yeah, we're going to sign off for now. Friends, thanks for joining us. I see there's quite a few of you here right now. And yeah, we will see you soon. I'll get those videos edited and posted as soon as I can. And we'll all be flying together on Wednesday. So take care, friends. And again, SimFanatic signing off. We'll catch you soon. Blue skies.
Internet rates, electrical rates, that kind of thing. Once we get to the point where